All right, so there are some questions and that are pending. Okay. All right, Thomas is asking if we can do broadcast to all clients connected via RTMP through all running worker row instances. If I understand your question correctly, let's say, are you talking about when you have more than one worker row and different clients connect to different instances of those worker rows, whether you can do a broadcast that will cover all possible clients? If that's what you're asking, then out of the box, no. However, one of the things that WebORB 4.net supports is also messaging backbone infrastructure. So you can actually deploy ActiveMQ, and we have a few prospects who are going with that deployment. So you can deploy ActiveMQ in the cloud, and multiple worker roles can connect to a particular topic in that ActiveMQ. So whenever you need to broadcast a message to all connected clients, you can put a message into the queue, and once WebORB receives that message from the queue, then it turns around and notifies all clients connected to that specific instance about that message. So that's one way to do this. Alternatively, WebORB also provides server-to-server connectivity, both for topics through the producer-consumer API implemented in .NET, as well as remote shared objects. So one WebORB can connect to another WebORB, specifically connect to a remote shared object hosted in another WebORB. So that's another way of achieving this particular functionality. All right, let's see. Okay, there's another question of what is the pricing structure for support? Where we stand today, the support is included with the cloud-based pricing. Now, that may change in the future. So right now, you can think about it that the support is available at no additional cost. But that may change in the future where we'll start offering separate support packages for the cloud-based deployments. All right, so another question here reads, we've been trying to set up WebORB on a remote server in the cloud on Rackspace and need some help. How do we get that and how much? The best way to get things going is actually send an email to either info@themidnightcoders.com or sales@themidnightcoders.com. Describe your situation. Let us know what you're doing, and we'll be happy to assist you. So definitely get in touch with us, and we can discuss available options. Okay, so we have only 5 minutes left. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to take them. I'm going to start another poll that we'll be closing this webinar with. So if you could take a moment to answer this question right here that you see on your screen. And meanwhile, if there are any questions that you have, please feel free to post them here, and I'll be answering your questions. Now, while you guys are answering this question, I assume there are some things that we have not covered, and I know there are some things that we have not covered for the reason that we had limited time. So if you have any specific questions that you hesitate asking here, please send us an email or post them to the forum, or contact us, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. So the way to get a hold of us is by email. You can email sales@themidnightcoders.com, info@themidnightcoders.com. You can find our Twitter accounts. I think there's a link to Twitter accounts on every single product-related page. Or if you go to themidnightcoders.com/forum, this is where our forum is. So those are the ways to get a hold of us. All right, so there's a question. What caching solution would you recommend on Azure with WebORB? First and foremost, WebORB already provides a caching feature, which is actually very cool. If you go to the Midnight Coders, if you go to our user guide, and actually let me open it up here so I can guide you how to get there. I know you cannot see my screen, but I'll tell you exactly where to go. So if you go to the to WebORB for .NET User Guide, under Server-Side Features node, which is towards the bottom in the tree, there is a node that says Response Caching. So WebORB has a very powerful response caching mechanism where you can add attributes to various methods that you want WebORB to cache responses for, and WebORB will cache those responses which will be keyed off of the actual argument values. So whenever, let's say you invoke a method and you pass in an argument, and then if that method has this attribute, then WebORB will cache that result. And that result will be invalidated based on parameters that you can specify. So you can say, hold this cache for 30 seconds or 2 minutes. Or you can actually implement an interface and invalidate this cache once the underlying data changes. So that's one way to do caching. So this is one way to do this. Another, I believe there are some .NET specific caching systems that can plug into ASP.NET applications, although we have not really done any research or in specific integration. But if you find something that you believe is worth us looking into, please contact me. Mark@themidnightcoders.com is my email address. So I'll definitely be interested in discussing this further if you see something interesting that WebORB could leverage. All right, so we're getting very close to, I think the majority of people already participated in the poll, and it doesn't look like any more questions are coming in. So I'll be closing this webinar. Thank you very much for joining us. And there is going to be another webinar coming up fairly soon. Let me quickly check when it is going to be. And that's on January 27th. We'll be talking about data messaging and video streaming for Java applications. So if you use Java, please join us. It is going to be on the January 27th at 11 in the morning Central Time. Thank you, and let's stay in touch. Bye.